Hey guys, and welcome to new releases for the week of March 10th. I apologize for missing last week's video, but honestly I just needed a break. There's just been a lot going on and I just needed to take some time for myself. However, I'm back into it, ready to go, so let's do this. So I'll forewarn you, this is going to be very eyeshadow palette heavy. There are a few other items, but for the most part, it's a lot of palettes to talk about. First up is from Morphe. Honest to God, I can't figure out what the hell the name of this is because there are so many different hashtags that it could be the Dripping Bronze, the Get Your Bronze On, the Bronze Goals, the Glamma Bronze. Damned if I know what this thing is called, but bronze is going to be in the name somewhere. Yes, I could go to the Morphe website and check it out for myself, but I just don't care that much. So this is another 35 pan palette from Morphe with a ton of browns in it. Nothing new to their brand. I can't say that like I hate it, but I can certainly say that I will not be buying this. I have no use for, first of all, for that many shadows in one palette, and also for that many brown shadows in a palette. So to each their own, but this just seems like a ton of overkill for me. If you're going to go with a really specific color story, in my opinion, keep it to like 12 or less. Anything other than that is just kind of beating a dead horse in my opinion, so this does nothing for me. Another palette that is now available is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Riviera Palette. It's been getting a ton of hype, a ton of buzz, both on Instagram and on YouTube. I think a large majority of, well, okay, so there's two things going on. First of all, it's an ABH release. Those always generate a ton of buzz. And then also it's a colorful ABH release, so that's going to amp it up that much more. Okay, so I'm conflicted about this because when I first saw it, my eye like immediately goes to that hot pink and I'm like, yes, I need that. No, I don't. I've taken a step back, really looked at it. These aren't, to me, when I look at this palette, I don't immediately see a bunch of eye looks coming out of it. I see the purple, I see the pink, I see that like turquoise shimmer shadow, and then the light yellowy gold shimmer shadow as well. But other than that, I don't see a lot of cohesive looks just jumping out of the palette at me. And I like where they're going, but there are still a ton of neutral shadows in here. There's definitely pops of color. Like I would definitely classify this as a colorful palette, but it's just not for me. Now I said that about the Sultry palette. Can you see it in the background? I don't think you can, but it's back there. I saw it in stores, swatched it, and was like, I'm an idiot. No, I need this. So that very well could happen with this palette as well, but in looking at the promo pics and in looking at what I've seen online about it, I'm really not super jazzed about it, which in a sense kind of disappoints me, but then on the other hand, I'm like, well, I just saved $55, so thank you. I don't think it's a bad palette. I'm not upset by it at all, but it's just, for me, the shades are quite dupable with what I already have, and like I said, I just don't see a bunch of cohesive looks coming out of it at me. That could just speak to my own creativity and whatnot, because certainly I've seen pictures where people make stunning looks with this palette, but it's just one that I am willing to let slide by me, and I'm okay with that. Another colorful palette that I'm not super jazzed about is from e.l.f. It's their collaboration with Jay Kissa. This retails for $12 and it's available now. It came out on March 5th. Again, I just don't see a ton of like cohesive looks. I need to come up, like I need a makeup thesaurus, because how many times can I say that? But there's colorful shades in there. I know I've seen looks that she's done with it where she's made it look amazing, but Jay Kissa's like amazing with colorful eyeshadows. Like I'm not surprised that this is the palette she's put out. It's just something for me that I'm not drawn to it. Again, I would say I'd have all of those shades, or at least very similar shades to that, in my collection. It's a color palette that I just don't think that I would ever put together myself. Again, I'm not like upset about it. I don't think it's a bad combination. It's just not anything that really does it for me. It does not tickle my pickle. So the natural segue then is, speaking of pickles, what is this? I haven't seen many posts on this, probably because the Instagram rules don't allow you to post dick and ball pics. But this is available on the Colourpop website. It is Fourth Ray Beauty. So I don't know if that's like a separate entity that is selling through Colourpop, or if Colourpop is branching off into skincare and this is what they've named that collection. I don't really know what's going on here. But I was just poking around on the Colourpop website a little while ago, a few days ago, and came across the Fourth Ray Beauty drop-down menu, and then was smacked in the face with this thing. So this is the Rose Gold Face Massager. It is $22. It's not enough that it looks like a straight up sex toy. It also vibrates, so that's fun. I don't know about this. It's a little questionable. Like, this is not something that I would leave sitting around on my countertop or anywhere that anybody could actually see it, so it's just a little sketchy. I don't know why all of these like face massagers end up looking so phallic, but maybe don't make it pink. Maybe don't, like, that the very tip of it has, like, I assume that's where the batteries go in, so it's got like the little lines around. It's just a little too hyper-realistic, shall we say. Aggressively long, but disappointingly narrow. We may as well stick with the Colourpop thing because here we are. They have a new palette out. This is the Just My Luck palette. I was very tempted. This is why I was on their website, because I saw this and was like, I have to have it. I need this in my life. No, I don't. Because as you can see in this picture, this person, so this is an Instagram account, This Is 40. I don't follow that account, but I just came across this picture. They've duped it in the swatches with the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette, which I do have. And they're very similar. They're not exact dupes, but they're similar enough that I do not need the Colourpop one in addition to the Huda Beauty. So if you like the color story of the Huda Beauty one, but you'd like to save about $20, go for Colourpop. They've got excellent quality eyeshadows as well, and the colors, like I said, are basically the same. There are some differences, but it's close enough that you're not going to be really missing out, and you certainly don't need both. And since I mentioned Huda Beauty, here's an upcoming release from her. These are going to be the Power Bullet Rose Collection lipsticks, and they are launching on March 14th. They're all obviously very rose-toned and more neutral, and they are matte. I think they look really pretty. I have one of the metallic ones, and I liked the formula of it. I didn't find it to be overly slippery on the lips. It didn't, rub off on my teeth or do anything that I didn't want it to do. So I am intrigued by this. I don't know which one I would go for. I'd probably want to swatch in stores just to see. Maybe the one on the far right, Interview. I kind of like the look of that one, but they all look beautiful, to be honest. So I'm excited about these. I'm not sure what the price point's going to be, but probably 25 to 30 Canadian would be my guess each. Nars is coming out with a new collection, and I don't know the name of it. I'll link it down below once I figure out what the hell it is. I'm terrible at screenshotting, apparently, and then also just super lazy when I sit down to film. I just want to get through it. FYI, if you hear running around overhead, those are my children. It's Sunday morning, and Barry is playing with them upstairs. I don't know, man. I guess if you're like an artistic kind of person, you may appreciate the packaging on this. To me, however, it looks a little alarming. I do not have any desire to have that in my collection. I don't think that I would be putting this like on display or anything like that. It just, to me, it's a little horrifying. It looks like the man in the moon is suffering some severe problems right now. And otherwise, like even like what's on the inside, which is what's supposed to count, for the eyeshadow palette, it looks very humdrum. It looks very dull. I don't know, they just look like they're all gonna look very similar on the eyes with the exception of that bluey gray shade. Everything else kind of looks like it's just gonna blend into one amorphous shade. So the colors are not really speaking to me. The lipsticks are pretty, but again, the packaging is a little off-putting to me personally. So I apologize, like if this artwork was done by some like super famous artist, I don't mean to be insulting, but art is very subjective, and to me, I don't approve. Another collection that I'm going to skip over is this new one from Smashbox. It's the Crystallized collection. Again, the eyeshadow palette just doesn't really bring anything exciting to me. The lip glosses, I'm not huge into lip glosses. I have a few that I enjoy and I really don't feel any need to amass anymore. The highlighter, it's pretty, but again, I have so many highlighters that I really don't need it. I believe that this highlighter is like a duochrome kind of deal, and I have enough of those. Like I don't feel the need to have a plethora of color shifting highlighters. I just don't get a lot of use out of them. So this is one that I'm happy to just skip on over. Ew. Sorry, Barry just texted me. Oh my god, Bennett has food in his mouth and refuses to swallow it. He just keeps opening his mouth and drooling blue spit all over the floor. That's fun. That sounds like a daddy problem right now though, doesn't it? So let's get back into the makeup. Let's see here. We've got the new Sugar Crystals eye palette from Voss. It is available now through their website, and it's going to be available. Let me see. What the hell? Will be available. Okay. Holy Christ. The way it's worded here, I'm a little unsure. It was available online, I believe, at Sephora February 26th, and then will be coming to Violet Voss's website on March 12th. That seems a little ass backwards to me, but check out both sites, I guess, and you'll figure it out. And it's going to be in stores March 22nd. Sorry, I'm distracted. Barry's just clarified. He's not in danger or anything, but it's gross. Yeah, I get that. Also, skating is in 30 minutes. Shut, son of a bitch. I have to like rush through this because I have to get my daughter to skating and I still need to get dressed. So this is pretty. At least the top row is. The rest of it I could do without, so I'm going to do without. This eyeshadow palette from Raine, right up my alley. I love these like deeper, darker kind of tones. They're beautiful. Beautiful. It's available now on their website. I'm very tempted by this because this color story is like right up my alley. I don't know that I need it, but I definitely want it. So I'll hem and haw about that one. It may come down to what the Blood Sugar Palette Part 2 looks like from Jeffree Star. I still haven't seen the inside of it because I may have to pick and choose between the two of them. The company that brought us the pizza palette, I still owe you a review on that. I'm aware, I just need more time in my life. But Glamlite released the pizza palette about 2 months ago. They're coming out with a burger palette in the spring of 2019. So stay tuned for that. When I see pictures of the inside of it, I will be sure to include it in a future new releases video. Tarte has also come out with a new eyeshadow palette. This is the Rainforest of the Sea, High Tides and Good Vibes eyeshadow palette. Tarte, please stop naming things stupid things. Please just stop. However, I've ordered this. I'm shocked as hell that I've ordered a Tarte palette because normally I'm just like, Tarte. But this actually looks like it has some potential. It looks like there's a smattering of color in there. And I like the little glittery topper things. I'm hoping that they're going to have enough pigment to work on their own as well, not just as toppers. I will put up a review once I have it in my little mitts and I've got a chance to play around with it. My fingers are firmly crossed on this one. I really do hope that it doesn't disappoint me because I will be very, very vexed if it does. But it looks like it's got a good amount of potential and I'm excited for it, which is something I didn't think that I would say about a Tarte palette. Very quickly, Lime Crime is coming out with blushes. It looks like they're going to have a ton of shades to choose from. I don't know that I'm like super excited about this. They're going to be $22 US each. I do love a good blush, and these look like they're going to have like some really good pigmentation to them, at least based on the swatches. I think I want to hear some reviews on these first and see more swatches like from actual people using them, not just these like built up swatches that brands often include. So we'll wait and see. Let's round this out with something from Kat Von D. This is the vegan palette. I guess we don't have time for interesting names and we don't have time for interesting artwork. Also, we don't have time for interesting shades. This just looks to me like a brand giving up. I'm sorry, like these look to me like they have taken their, what were they, the metal shock shadows, the metal crush shadows, and just thrown them into a palette with no additional thought put behind it. This palette does not look like it works together. It just looks like a random assortment of shades. From what I've seen of swatches online, they are all metallic type shades. It honest to God looks to me like the brand's just like, whatever, we gotta put something out, so here we go. Like they have overstock or something and shoved them into a palette. Kat Von D Beauty is typically known for the packaging because it's well thought out, it's innovative, it's artistic, it's beautiful. This is very much not. So like this is such a dud to me. I have zero interest, in case that wasn't abundantly clear. And I really just think that Kat Von D Beauty is on its deathbed, in the death throes, just waiting for the mercy of sweet release. All right, guys, and with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about these releases. Sound off about Kat Von D Beauty. Do you think there's a future there? Do you think it's ending? What are your thoughts? Thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.